Hi, this is Ron Nutter with another edition of TechBytes with Ron Nutter product reviews. Today we're looking at the Ubiquiti Network's UniFi Wi-Fi 7 Lite dual band wireless access point, and 3 things you need to know. I've just recently converted over to this one. I did have an older access point that's still viable, but it only supports Wi-Fi 5. Well, as I get newer equipment, I'm not going to get all the throughput from it, so that forced me to start looking at things. It's been several years since I had bought Ubiquiti gear, and I tell you what, it's worth taking a look at. Thing number 1, this is powered by PoE, and there's no separate power supply required or supported. Now let me explain that. With this one, you need to feed it with an RJ45 coming from a PoE capable port on a switch. Now, if you're putting an access point some distance from where your network stack is, and when I say some distance, if it's approaching 300 feet, and I know you can go 307, but I like to come in under that number, so as equipment ages, you know that it's still going to be viable for you. You can have the option of either using a power injector. So you'll have to get it placed somewhere near where the access point is or in line with it, some point in the cable, and then plug it into the wall outlet and then onto the access point. Now, something to think about there is if you use a PoE injector, if somebody unplugs it because they need the outlet, well, that's now going to cause a problem. Where if you are within the distance range of Ethernet, that you can then use PoE. Now, you may have to upgrade some of your switches, or if you got, say, several access point in fairly close proximity, Ubiquiti has an 8-port switch that has 4 ports with just PoE. If you need all 8, then they have a different model. So you have ways of dealing with that. Now, this is something to think about as more and more networks are getting upgraded, and that's thing number 2. This AP has a 2.5 gig Ethernet port. Now, that's going to give you higher throughput when you're plugged into a switch that has 2.5 gig ports. Now, just because you're plugged into a 2.5 gig port doesn't mean you're going to get that out of it. You've got to have a complete 2.5 gig link path all the way back into whatever you're accessing. So that's just trying to help manage the expectations here. Now, if you're just starting to come off Wi-Fi 5 because you've got newer devices that have support for 6 or 7, this is an easy way to enable support for Wi-Fi 6 and 7. Now, if you're really going to be pushing the limits of what Wi-Fi 7 can do, there are other options you might have to look at, but for most people, this should be more than sufficient. So take a look at this one and give it a spot, because that might just be the easy way for you to enable support of Wi-Fi 6 and 7 on your network if you're looking to expand in that area.